Yo, what's up guys, it's Stray360 here coming back at you for another video. I've moved the mic closer to my face and today we've got a phase team. But before that, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe to boost my serotonin levels, and without any further ado, let's talk about the team. So, today we are running a SkarmBliss phasing core backed by a heavily offense-oriented bottom line meant to at least check most of the Pokemon used in OU, and the best way to cover this is just to get into the team. So first off, Blissey is our wall, who will be tanking special attacks as usual. However, I've also outfitted it with Flamethrower to 3-hit KO Ferrothorn and 2-hit KO Bandit Scizor, but you should also note that Bandit Scizor can one-shot Blissey with superpower. So, circumvent this, we've got Calm Mind on this set to decrease that 2-hit KO on our side to a 1-hit KO, and hopefully catch Scizor on the switch in after they realize that we're setting up, right? Aside from that, we've also got Stealth Rocks on Bliss, so Skarmory doesn't have to bear the weight of setting up hazards and phasing and walling physical damage. But one thing to note is that while I have Wish on this set, you'll see in the battle my Blissey actually has Soft Boil. Now, I completely recommend going with Wish, and this is to increase the longevity of your team, but at the same time, I don't have the BP to teach Blissey Wish currently, as it costs 9k, and I only have 6k because I just bought another Life Orb because I have a plan, something to celebrate my 69 subscriber special, so stay tuned for that. But speaking of walls, going from Blissey, next up we've got Skarmory. Now, this mon is meant to, as I mentioned before, wall non-super effective physical damage, set up spikes if need be, and phase Pokemon out with Roar. It also has the added utility of being able to poison opposing walls without being able to be poisoned itself because it's a steel type, which is pretty nice, and it can heal itself using Roost, providing much needed, I'd say, autonomy from Blissey, because it'll keep our opponents guessing on whether we're going to switch to Blissey to wall a special attack that's coming on Skarmory, or if we're just going to use Roost, take the special attack if it's not super effective, and then switch to who knows what. It's a mind game that is actually quite invaluable for this team, and I recommend that you always keep it in the forefront of your thoughts when you're using this team. And very quickly, something of note that seasoned players may have already picked up on is, yes, I am using a SkarmBliss defensive core to mitigate the effectiveness of wall breakers, you know, be they physical or special attackers, doesn't really matter, because the best part about this defensive core is that they really don't share any weaknesses, and as a matter of fact, Skarmory's two weaknesses, being electric and fire, usually come in the form of special attacks aside from Flare Blitz, which you will see coming. And Blissey can wall all of those special attacks, and vice versa for Blissey as well. Fighting type weaknesses, you know, that come in the form of like superpower, don't really hurt Skarmory all that much if it's not coming from Conkeldurr. And that's a big caveat, you know, granted, but I think that it's, you know, impressive that Skarmory can take 3 superpowers from a choice banded Scizor and, you know, be perfectly fine. Now, I wouldn't recommend using Roost on a Scizor that's spamming superpower because you'll drop your flying typing and then it'll be super effective, and that will be bad juju. But that aside, next up is our tried and true Adamant Choice Scarf Electivire set. And this thing will outspeed Garchomp, granted it doesn't have a scarf of its own, and it'll actually OHKO Garchomp, granted it doesn't have a Yache Berry, which a good few of them actually don't have Yache Berry, because here's a pro tip: on the ladder in PokeMMO, you have to replace consumable items as they're used. So if Garchomp gets hit by an Ice Beam, congratulations, you survived it because you have a Yache Berry. However, you also have to replace that Yache Berry because Garchomp ate it. And that's not something that I think happens in normal Pokemon games. I think you get your items back, but here you have to replace them. And the only way to do that is to farm Yache Berries yourself, literally, like grow them, and it's actually a pretty intuitive system. Or you have to buy it, and that will cost money that you could spend on, you know, making a new team. And most people don't want to do that. I know I don't. That's why I put Choice Band on my Garchomp. But anyway, back to Electivire, right? it can come in and finish off pretty much any weakened Pokemon, and this covers a lot of threats. You can use Brick Break or Ice Punch on Hydreigon, you can use Earthquake on Volcarona or Thunder Punch, you use Brick Break on T-Tar, and many other threats that have taken residual damage from hazards courtesy of our SkarmBliss Phasing Core, and that is a special thing that not many teams can bolster, you know, just having hazards out all the time, being able to chip Pokemon so that 2 shots turn into 1 shots, right? And next up, we've got Starmie. Now, this Starmie is meant to serve as a check to Garchomp with Ice Beam, Pelipper with Thunderbolt, and Volcarona with Surf. However, it can also serve as a check to Conkeldurr. And with its high speed tier and amazing special attack, the trend that you'll notice from here on out, and really starting with Electivire, is hyper-aggressive coverage that's meant to exploit Mons that have been battered by Skarmory's phasing. Now, we are running Psyshock instead of Psychic to be able to 3-hit KO opposing Blissies, while still ensuring that we can OHKO Conkeldurr after hazards damage. And that right there is the key factor, by the way. I can't stress this enough. Assuming all Pokemon are maxed out on their IVs and EVs, Starmie can only OHKO Bulk Up or Specially Defensive Conkeldurr after hazards damage, be they Stealth Rocks or Spikes. So be careful, friends, because if you try to use Psyshock on a fully healthy Conkeldurr and it survives, don't blame me, I told you. But now we've got Minchao. And Minchao is our pinnacle choice of coverage here. It's capable of one-shotting Hydreigon with High Jump Kick, and 2-shotting almost all other Mons in the tier, save for, I guess, notably Cofagrigus, Gliscor, and Dragonite. And for Gliscor and Dragonite, since Dragonite doesn't have multi-scale, I'm pretty sure Starmie can handle Dragonite. But for Cofagrigus, it's actually going to be kind of tricky with this team to take it out. It can actually even one-shot Dragonite with Stone Edge if we get lucky and get a crit, but I would not bank your chances of winning a game on crit. That's something that I do, and that's because I'm a bad player. Don't be me. And last but not least, we've got our Banded Garchomp here to cause pain to all Mons slower than it, with Fire Fang to keep Scizor and Ferrothorn in check, and Iron Head to threaten Ice types. And of course, we've got Earthquake and Dragon Claw to threaten everything else. Now, you may be tempted to run Outrage, I should say, on Garchomp, but I actually wouldn't recommend you running Outrage on Garchomp, because in PokeMMO, it only has base 90 power, and you can still get confused and you're locked into it. So for 10 more base power than Dragon Claw, I just don't think it's worth it to ever run Outrage on Garchomp and really any dragon type Pokemon in PokeMMO. It seems kind of worthless since it doesn't have the 120 base power that we all want it to have, right? Now, the key here with Garchomp is to keep your opponent guessing as to whether you're choiced or not, and to pressure them to make bad switch-ins, which can be exploited by aggressive switch-ins on your part. Just know that this is a pretty risky strat, and it can backfire if they suss out that you have choice ban before you actually let them know anything, right? And overall, I mean, that's the team. I think that this team's biggest weakness lies in defensive Cofagrigus sets and Scarf T-Tar, because defensive Cofagrigus, I mean, you can't really do anything against it. Even Psyshock from Starmie won't do that much because it's hitting defensively so that we can hit Blissey rather than specially defensively. And I should tell you that if you do end up fighting a Cofagrigus with your Starmie, you should definitely go with Surf over Psyshock, because it will actually do more damage if they're physically defensive, doing about, I think, 50% is what I calced it to be. So yeah, whereas Psyshock would only do like what, 30, high 30s, maybe like low 40s, something like that. But yeah, go with Surf over Psyshock. And I cannot stress this enough, Choice Scarf T-Tar will absolutely wreck this team, because it can just mow down most of our team. And if you supplement that with the rest of your opponent's team, I mean, what can we really do if T-Tar decides to use like Stone Edge on Blissey, or, you know, Crunch on Starmie, Earthquake on Electivire? And if it's Choice Scarfed and max speed, it's actually going to outspeed the Electivire set that we have even with Choice Scarf. So it'll outspeed every Mon on our team, actually. if it's like max speed with, I think, Jolly Nature. So yeah, but all that said, that is the team. Here is the team weakness breakdown. As you can see, we only have a weakness to Fairy, which don't exist yet in Gen 5 PokeMMO. And here's the recommended sets for you guys if you want to try this team out for yourselves. And without any further ado, let's just hop right into the battle. Alright, looks like we got a battle. Alright, let's see what we're working with here. This is an interesting team. It looks like a very well balanced team. They could start off with Ferrothorn, but I feel like everyone expects that. So part of me thinks that they'll start off with Swampert. If they start off with Swampert, Swampert's another Pokemon that kind of countered this team that I didn't really talk about. I kind of want to start off with Minchao just to test, because I can always fake out and U-turn and all that stuff. So yeah, they did end up starting up with Ferrothorn. So I could switch into Blissey here, or I could U-turn out and then go into Garchomp. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Iron Barb's damage because it really doesn't matter with Regenerator here. And I imagine they're going to use this turn to set up like Stealth Rocks or, geez, I don't know, maybe Leech Seed or something like that. I have the ability to throw in Garchomp here and then go for an Earthquake as they switch into Arcanine expecting a Fire Fang or something. Or maybe they won't expect the Fire Fang from Garchomp. Maybe they'll expect an Earthquake. Yeah. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll expect an Earthquake and then switch on over into Staraptor. Either way, I'm going for the Fire Fang, just in case. Swampert comes in. That's also a very valid choice. I could have just as easily clicked Earthquake there and he would have taken massive damage though, so I expect this thing is going to have some type of physical ice type move, which makes me want to throw in a Scalibird here. And it kind of makes me kick myself for not putting Rapid Spin onto Starmie, which I actually started to do, but I should be able to take this relatively well. Yup, not really that much of a problem. So he's probably going to throw an Arcanine. Here, I'm going to set up the spikes just to get the phasing started, because I tried to get the advantage turn 1 and just start sweeping. However, that's not really happening right now. Oh, my rank went up. I'm an ace trainer. Enjoy it while you can see it now, because it won't last. It definitely won't last. I might actually lose this one. Simply because he has so many problem Pokemon on his team. I'm gonna go for the spikes here. He did not switch out. I wonder why that is. He's going for a waterfall. Am I faster? I'm faster. That's interesting. Okay. Well, now I can go for a Toxic here, as he's gonna keep using. Or is this a speed tie? Did I get that spikes off first? That's interesting. That waterfall is only doing 23%. Again, shout out to the percentage counter at 40%, so I know that I can take another waterfall and roost up as he's taking damage from the Toxic. Yeah, this is a speed tie. This is a very slow, very strong Swampert, but it's not choice banded, which kind of confuses me. I don't know what this thing has as an item. And there he's going to see, okay, this waterfall isn't doing anything, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch, and as he goes for the switch, I'm going to roar, and that's where the phasing starts. Theoretically he should see that he's not winning this one and he should switch. And he's looking at who to switch to, and no matter who it is, it's going to be someone that Skarmory doesn't want to see, and then I can roar them out, and bing bam shablam, we got our phaser going on. And that's basically what we wanted, right? Yeah, so he's going to switch out. Here comes Gengar. That's interesting that he chose Gengar, but it doesn't really matter because I said, no, you're going away. And here we've got Garchomp. Now, Garchomp is a bit of a problem, especially if it has Fire Fang. And I don't know if it actually has Fire Fang or not. So part of me wants to switch, but I'm actually going to go for the Toxic here and be bold. Simply because I don't see a lot of Garchomps with Fire Fang. As he throws Gengar back out, I could have just roared again, you know? That's fine. So maybe this Gengar has Thunderbolt on it and that's why he wants it out, but no matter what it has, this Gengar is no match for Sunnyside Up, our Blissey, and we're gonna just switch that in right now because I don't think you can really do much to me. Yeah, Thunderbolt, that doesn't matter. Not to Blissey. In here, I'd imagine he's probably going to want to throw in... Honestly, I would throw in Arcanine, but I'm not sure what he's thinking. I'm going to go ahead and get my Stealth Rocks up, though, because that's free. Staraptor comes in. Here comes the Close Combat. And I'm thinking... I might throw in Electivire. I'm not sure if Electivire is faster, though. But I do know this Brave Bird is coming in strong. Or Close Combat. It could just be Close Combat. To which I could just throw in Starmie, but I'd rather keep Starmie healthy. Electivire is useful for taking out Garchomp, but so is Starmie, honestly. So I'm just going to throw in a Electivire because I think Starmie I can get a little bit more mileage out of. So let's see what we got here. As it goes for the Close Combat, saw that coming, that might kill me. No, it doesn't. And so now it really depends on who's faster. He's probably expecting a Thunder Punch here, but I'm going to go for the Ice Punch, which is going to be just as effective if he switches to Garchomp. Plus, I already was throwing away Electivire, so I don't care. Now here, he has an interesting choice to make. He decides to throw an Arcanine, which is a good choice because the Intimidate is going to drop my attack, I'd assume. Yep, and I don't get away with that for free, so I have to switch into something. Basically, I have to sack something. I'm thinking about throwing in Garchomp here and just going like hyper aggressive right from the back because I don't know if you look at his side of the field, but he's got some stuff over there. So he can't just switch out willy-nilly. So he goes for the Extreme Speed knowing that I'm Choice Scarf. It's not going to hurt Garchomp that much. And I could go for the Earthquake here since nothing can resist it or get away from it since Staraptor's gone. He's going to throw out this Ferrothorn. That's going to be a huge mistake because this Earthquake is from a banded Garchomp and it's going to hurt. Now, he doesn't know that we're banded yet, but now he definitely does. And he also knows that he can't switch into anything really, and he should just sack his Ferrothorn. He doesn't sack his Ferrothorn. Interesting. He throws out his Garchomp. This is a bad play. Let me tell you why this is a bad play. Because with Stealth Rocks and Spikes damage, you die. So you just sack Garchomp for no reason when Ferrothorn was already dead. And it looks like we have this game in the bag. I don't want to jinx it, but this Swampert is super slow. And to my knowledge, I don't think Swampert gets Aqua Jet, so this looks like it's just a Garchomp sweep after Skarmory and Blissey walled off everything and set up hazards and started phasing, which is what we wanted. And Gengar doesn't have Levitate anymore because it's up to Gen 8 now. They've got it. Okay, Destiny Bond. That's smart. So our Garchomp is down, but the game is still over because I would not hazard to guess he's going to throw Arcanine here. And this is where Minchao gets to play in. Garchomp dies, but it took out 3 threats before it died. He probably should have just threw out Gengar first. He really should have just sacked Ferrothorn and threw out Gengar because now Arcanine is going to come out, right? It's going to take the Stealth Rocks, it's going to take the Spikes damage. I'm going to Fake Out here because there's no reason for me not to Fake Out. He's going to go for the Extreme Speed. I'm going to go for the Fake Out because I'm not entirely sure if that Extreme Speed will kill me because he might just be banded. So this Extreme Speed might kill me. Even if it does, it really doesn't matter though. And yeah, banded Arcanine not faster than my good old Minchao in with the Spikes and Stealth Rocks damage. Ferrothorn's gonna die, which is why he should have sacked it. But yeah, I'm gonna call it right there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like. If you want to see more of its kind, don't forget to subscribe. And hey, before you go, here's the chart. Now look, I have a different way of presenting it this time. All right, imagine this is a Pokemon battle and your Pokemon is on the bottom, your opponent's Pokemon's on the top, right? You're kind of losing right now. So if you guys can, press that subscribe button and, use Pain Split to, average those out, that would be absolutely wonderful. But thank you guys for watching. Really, it does mean a lot to me. Thank you guys for 69 subscribers. It's very nice. And until next time, I will see you guys later.